My fellow Zambians, I have come to speak to you today on a very important subject, the subject of fear and hope. In the last 4 years, the UPND government has been trying to instill a sense of fear in us as citizens. It is time to fight back. I am here to tell you, my fellow Zambians, fear not. Hope is here. I speak to you today as a Zambian Christian. I speak to you today as a husband. I speak to you today as a father, worried for the future of my children and their children, my grandchildren. I speak to you today as a lawyer concerned about how the rule of law has been desecrated by the UPND government, while good governance has been raped and misapplied by the current government. I speak to you today as a citizen guilty of believing and trusting Hakainde Ichile and all the lies that he told, and helping him ascend to power. I deeply apologize to all of you for this. Please forgive me. I speak to you today as a voice of resistance, a voice of truth, a voice of what is fair and what is right. The evidence of poor leadership in the last 4 years shows us what words alone cannot. The evidence speaks clearly. It points to fraud, deceit, manipulation, misrepresentation of economic facts, and pure hypocrisy. The last 4 years under the UPND government have been proof of the greed about thieves at a dinner table, stealing by way of corruption, crooked mining contracts, crooked energy contracts, crooked medical contracts, and a lot of illicit procurement deals, while the poor, sick, unemployed Zambians starve. I speak to you today to declare that I want all of us to finally speak up with one voice and say, as directed by our Constitution, in our preamble, we the people. Yes, we the people have had enough. We the people will not stand idly by anymore. We the people will together vote out the UPND government in 2026. That we the people will not be lied to anymore. We the people will not be cheated anymore. We the people will not be manipulated anymore. And yes, we the people of Zambia will no longer be afraid. I stand here to say to you, my fellow Zambians, fear not. Fear not. Hope is here. I stand here declaring by faith, as the scriptures have shown us time and time again, fear not. Fear not. Prosperity does not happen by accident. It takes intention, courage, and a whole lot of trust. Trust in the process, trust in people, and trust in a vision. Yet this government of the UPND wants us to be afraid. They want to instill fear in us so that we do not speak out. we do not express ourselves, and we do not point out that which is wrong. Let me say something about fear. Fear is a very intimidating emotion. Fear is a dangerous emotion. Fear can invoke confusion in a nation. Fear can be complicated sometimes. Fear can subdue even the strong. Fear can paralyze a nation. Fear can rob a nation of its hope. Fear can disgust a citizen, leaving him or her wondering. Yes, wondering. What next? As a Christian, when the political leadership fails to inspire the nation, fear can paralyze your faith. Fear can kill your spirit. Fear can kill your prayer life. Fear can cripple your vision. And fear can make you give up on your God-given blessings. Countrymen and women, we must be very careful in this election year not to let fear rob us of our God-given blessings. I say again, fear not, Zambia. Hope is here. Aren't we blessed? Look around us. Aren't we blessed? Here we are in a new election year after all. The last 4 years were a little rough, a little tough, and perhaps a little up in the air. And yet, here we are, with a new opportunity to correct our mistakes of the last 4 years. You may ask, who are we today? Where are we today? And who shall we be in the future? These are very important questions. A new election year is upon us, and with it comes a new calendar, a chance for a new beginning for us as a nation. Let us ask bold questions. Let us challenge the status quo with real purpose. We can choose to remain stuck in our old ways and step into this election year with no hope, no ambition, no determination, and no zeal for a better nation. Or, fellow Zambians, or we can look the past in the eye and say to the past, thank you for your trials. Thank you for your challenges. Thank you for your problems. And thank you for the confusion that you gave us, because we have learnt from that confusion. As a nation, we have chosen to be victors and to be overcomers. And having survived you, we shall not fear the obstacles and challenges of 2026 and the future. In the last 4 years, I saw great failures out of fear by us as people. We failed to unite together for a common purpose. We failed to stare wrong in the eye and demand what is right. We failed to stand against the bad leadership and defend the little guy. We failed to speak up and speak out when moments favored us as individuals but did not favor the nation. We failed to stand shoulder to shoulder as brothers and sisters, born for a purpose of leaving behind a better Zambia than we found it. All this out of fear and personal preservation. I dare say, my dear brothers and sisters, fear not. Hope is here. This is not just an event. It is a launch pad, a spark, a reminder that time waits for no one. Let me take a moment here and speak to the Lungu family, the family of our late, beloved 6th Republican President. Mayowa Esther, you remember our meeting when we met at the funeral of late Pastor Chiu, Pastor Moses Chiu. You remember my words to you. When we came to South Africa with a view of coming to bury our president, I reminded you of my words. I am repeating my words to you. You remember my promise. We shall stand on those promises. Mayowa Betha, as a sister, you remember when I visited you in your home and we spoke about this country before the death of your late brother. I recall how you and your late brother discussed events after our meeting. You remember my words, Mayowa Betha. My promise to you still stands. To the children, Tasila, Daliso, Chiesu, and the rest of the family, I say, time does not wait for anybody. We are not sure when this burial will take place. All we ask now, we are requesting you as a family to forgive us. We need to start mobilization. This government means no good. They stand at a crossroads of confusion. And we are saying, Pafuabantu, Pashalabantu. We are here to pick up that mantle and fight on. So we are asking that you allow us to proceed with our mobilization as time is not with us. We cannot allow our people to live in perpetual poverty. But when the time comes and you as a family decide where and how you're going to bury the late president, we shall be there in numbers to give you all the support and indeed all the dignity that our late president deserves. But for now, we need to start working. My fellow Zambians, we remain poor only because our mindset is full of fear and we accept it. How exactly do we remain poor, you may ask? We accept to remain poor by allowing ourselves to be divided by incompetent, greedy, and bad leadership. We have allowed bad leadership to divide us by tribe and political affiliation and classification. We have allowed those in whose selfish best interest it is to have a divided Zambia to divide us and continue dividing us. This ends now, today. We have many sellouts at various levels in leadership in this beloved country of ours, all out of fear. And unless we choose to look beyond our political and tribal affiliation in this election year and beyond, we shall continue to chase our own tail as a nation. If we continue to act out of fear, we shall forever remain a poverty-stricken people. We must shake off fear and unite together in the desire to see a better country. We can only do this by standing up to selfish, incompetent, lying, self-centered, divisive leadership. By not being afraid, Zambia only gets better. Therefore, let us choose to get better and get united, regardless of one's tribe, region, ethnicity, or political affiliation. Our current leadership has no vision, no plan, not even a dream, and no potential to improve at all. Let me remind the UPND, leadership is not about control or power. No. Leadership is not about manipulation or lying to your people. No. Leadership without character has no protection of the people. Remember that. Our country has been shortchanged by the UPND by so many broken promises, so many lies, so many lectures disguised as press briefings. All this has been no more than a big nightmare which has lasted us 4 years. Let me speak specifically to some groups of this country, our youths. I have seen your frustration. Some of you have called directly into my phone line. We have spoken. I've heard you. I've heard your cries. I understand your pain. I know how frustrating it is for a young man, a young graduate, a young lady to leave university or college and find no employment. I hear you. I know the frustrations of how Bajarabo on the Copper Belt cannot even find a black mountain to work on. Every mine, every black mountain that is discovered on the Copper Belt, they're shut down and chased and given to foreigners. I have heard you, Bajarabo. I have listened to the cries of our children in Mufumbwe being shot in cold blood by this uncaring government. Listen, I understand the crisis you're in. I know what it is to suffer. I know what it is to have skills when you're walking along Ali Kinkata Road and you're trying to make a gate. You're trying to weld something. You're trying to weld burglar bars, beds, and yet there's no electricity because this government is selling our power. I feel your pain. Even those that are talented, their talents are being crippled because this government does not care. To you, the youths, I say, the decisions you shall make in the next general elections will live with you for the rest of your lives. It is time to correct the mistakes of 2021 and rewrite your future. Remember, the mind is like a river. It flows and runs all the time. This mind is also like a garden. What you plant will grow. But remember, more importantly, that gardens require crop rotation. To renew hope in 2026, we ask you, the youths, it's time to change the game and change some players. The UPND has failed to score. To our mothers, I say, Banamayo Nimu. Again, from as far as Mufungwe, Mwinilunga, Mpika, Nakonde, Mwembeshi, as far as Livingstone, Sikongo, you have called and you have cried, and I've heard you. Your pain touches me. I know that it is you that is looking after the sick in the hospitals. It is you that is looking after the sick in your homes. I know it is you that gets beaten by your husbands when you fail to budget because the money is not enough to run from one month end to another. I know the pain that you're going through, Vanamayo. I have felt your stories when you've told me how difficult it is to look after teen pregnancies, how your daughters are being forced into early marriages because there's nothing else they can do, how you're looking after your boy children, teenagers who are becoming junkies because there's nothing else for the children to do. Take that pain with you in 2026. Let us move together, Anamayo. Let us take this pain and take it to our voting booth. Ensure that we punish the people that have been lying to us. Anamayo, I am saying to you, our nation is crying for redemption. You, our mothers, are bearing the brunt of all the sufferings in our homes, in our churches, in our hospitals, It is you that I see lined up visiting people in the prisons. It is you that is trying to make sure that there's food on the table, even when you don't have the means. Let me say this and say this to our mothers. This kind of suffering has been brought upon you by the UPND government. There is nothing the UPND can do to change the status quo, because they have no plan, because they have no vision, and because they are heartless. They don't care. So, let us agree. In Zambia Must Prosper, we want you to know that you will be appreciated, you will be respected, and you will be cared for. This I say, hope is here. To our business community, our farmers, our manufacturers, our miners, traders, taxi drivers, bus drivers, professionals in various fields, doctors, lawyers, teachers, civil servants in general, the police, and many in valor, I say to you, we have heard you. We are aware that the tax regime in this country, in every sector of our economy, is too high, and your salaries are not enough. We shall relook into your salaries. We shall improve your conditions of service. For the businessmen, we shall improve the business environment and create an enabling environment for you to compete favorably, so that the foreigners do not take advantage of you. In trying to revive this country, Zambia Must Prosper is saying, we have heard you and the cries that you've given us. We shall improve the living standards of our people. The business community in its entirety, I say to you, don't lose hope. Hope is here. To all our citizens, I give this assurance. Employment will be on merit, not based on tribe. The level of tribalism in our country is too much. This must end. Caderism has been moved into government and the parastatals. Now it is about giving jobs to the women and men who helped us campaign. The UPND doesn't care about whether you're qualified or not. Our freedom of speech will be restored. There will be no more cyber laws. We shall promote freedom of the media while allowing the media to self-regulate itself. We shall encourage and promote investment in energy, infrastructure, farming, mining, and use these as deliberate policies and deliberate pillars on which we're going to base our development. CDF in its current format is a scam. No development can be achieved using the mode of CDF under the UPND. In fact, 80% of all CDF funds cannot be accounted for to date. CDF has been used to distribute money to UPND cadres disguised as development. This must stop. I assure you, hope is here. We have watched the UPND play their games. We have seen them. And now we are saying, no more. Let me say this to the UPND. In a democracy, you return power to the people at the end of your term, as you should in 2026. And this you must do. And respectfully, you must ask the people to trust you again by asking them for their vote, not by rigging the elections, not by stealing an election, but by asking the people whether they still trust you or not. My fellow Zambians, when that request will be made by the UPND next year, remember this. Every year is a new chapter in your life. Time and change we all have in common. Time and change are our raw materials we have to use to build our future with. We must therefore say to the UPND, next year when that question is posed, enough is enough. We have been disrespected long enough. We have been lied to long enough. We have been abused long enough. Is this what we want? To repeat itself for another 5 years? My answer and my request to you fellow Zambians is an emphatic no. Niccolo Machiavelli once said, and I quote, "The first method in estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. You want to know a man's mind? Look at his circle. Does he surround himself with flatterers, cowards, men who nod and smile and wait for instructions? Then he's not a leader. He is a puppet with a crown." End of quote. Does that sound familiar, fellow Zambians? Think about it. I stand here today to remind you once again about why we must find our purpose in unity. Let us look at our history and say, we are no longer afraid of the UPND. We are no longer afraid of their brutality. We are no longer afraid of whatever they shall throw at us, because Zambia Must Prosper is promising us hope. My name is Kelvin Bwalya. I am running for president in 2026. May God bless Zambia. Let's get to work, my fellow brothers and sisters. And I thank you.